All right, welcome to another update. This is week 5 now. Um, Before I get into like the content of it all, I just want to start by thanking you again if you're still following. It is just it looks like a silly side solo project, but I uh, I really do want a career change, um, and I think this is going to help with that. It'd be cool to get away from the web for a little bit. If while you're watching these videos, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Like, you can comment on the video itself or when I post them to Facebook. Either way. um, if there's something you'd like to see more of, like maybe if there's something you want to see in these videos I'm not doing, or questions you have that I'm not answering, let me know. I'll see what I can do in future videos. uh, yeah, so for this update, we got a few things, some cool stuff. um, So that fade is important. We'll go into that in a little bit. So I was playing Link to the Past, and I wanted to see how they do some things. Like, a lot of what I'm doing in this game is kind of going to be based off of how some of that stuff's done, because I think they did a lot of things really well. Uh, but so I was just playing. Like, what happens here? How do they handle this? How do these things interact with each other? And the first thing that really hit me was when it hit me. When I got hit, you kind of turn transparent as you're pushed away, and that's good feedback that like you're invincible. Like, because you can't be hit again while you're faded out. Um, and that's smart. Like, I kind of bummed out I didn't think of that, because you are invincible. Like, in the game, when you're hit, I make you invincible so that the bad guy can't just like plow through you and kill you with one good attack. So now for the duration of the player's invincibility, they'll kind of flash different levels of transparency. Oh yeah, see, look at me. So yeah, I think like anything you can do feedback wise to let the player know what's going on in the world uh, is always going to be good. Um, Another big thing, a really important thing that we kind of take for granted, is being able to move around the world, to the different places. So we can open this door now using the same key that we would like read signs with, like an interact key. And we can go through the door, and it'll teleport us to wherever I tell it, wherever we say that this is connected to. Um, the way it's set up is kind of cool. So when you hit the trigger inside the door, it has a name, and it has a scene attached to it. It says, let's move to this scene. And then we do that fade out and the fade in. And during that transition phase, the player's controls are locked. So you can't go up and then come back down before the scene is fully loaded. And I also think it's good to kind of freeze things for just a second to give the player a little bit of time to, see what's going on. If you're entering a room for the first time and you want to see what's there, it's some time to kind of bring that in. But yeah, so anyway, you go into the trigger, and the trigger has a name. And when you come to this new room, I have a landing trigger. So before it's like an exit one, now it's a landing one, and it's got the same name. So when you go into this new room, the script scans the room for these triggers and says, find the one that has this name and put the player there. That was cool, because my first approach was to tell it to go to these exact coordinates. That would be a pain to have to do that for like every house. If there are multiple entries to get into a building, and we have to figure out where to put you on all of them, uh, that would suck. So we do it this way instead, and I think it's really cool. It works out. Um, yeah, and this room is just to test moving between the rooms. The character stats stay the same here, so like I actually move the character object over. I don't like make a new character. And then we can come back. One thing I do need to work on, so like we'll open these treasure chests here. Then we'll leave, and we will come back again. That they're closed again, and I can open them and get the stuff out. That's not great. So I mean, example why, over here I can open these chests to refill or gain an extra heart piece. You can kind of keep coming back in and doing that over and over and over, to max out, and we don't want that. We want some stuff to persist. So probably one of the next things I work on is going to be keeping that state. Once the treasure chest is open, keep it open forever. So we can't come back and exploit that. The third thing we did is a shield. It was an idea I had really early on. But we can press a button to activate a shield, and we can press another. And then when we do it, consumes one of our magic units up there. And then we can turn it off. And once we turn it off or it's deactivated, we can't turn it back on for a while, because you don't want to. It kind of takes away the challenge, like makes you think about when you turn it off. And when we get hit, instead of taking a life away, it takes one of those orbs away. And when we run out of magic, our shield goes away. Let's give it a second here for that ball to come back on the magic screen. And when it does, I'll try to use the shield, and we can't. You need to have more magic than what it takes to start it, or I just won't start it. It seems like a waste, like the player would start it with one magic, and then it would just disappear right away. So I don't know how. It's probably not very taxing code-wise to open the shield, but like, why even execute that code if it's just going to turn itself back off again? So we check for that, and that's gameplay-wise kind of it for those updates. I did start working on music. It's nothing great so far. I found this little program, that Famine Tracker, I guess, and started playing with it the other day, and I made yeah, it's probably pretty loud. Turn it down a little bit. Yeah, so you get these different tracks, and so we can turn this off. And then we can kind of play these together. This kind of sounds like it'd be a good boss fight. If you recognize that riff, then kudos to you and your excellent taste in music. But yeah, so I think it's kind of cool. Like, I see a lot of potential here. I'm definitely not getting the most out of it. Like, there's some crazy stuff you can do with this thing. And some really talented people have done some cool things. Like, well, this is crazy. This was just somebody. Let's see. I gotta find it. It's nuts. Yeah, there we go. I have no words. And yeah, all these different settings they have. I'm only playing with like these first two columns over here. I don't even know how to change these last two columns. But they did the whole thing. Anyway, so if we make a Lord of the Rings game, I guess we're covered there. Yeah, again, thanks for watching. Thanks for following along. I really am excited about where this is going. And I really hope it gets me off the web. I really do. Pipe dreams be what they be, though. Cool. Yeah, and again, if you have any questions or anything you want to see something about, let me know. We'll see what we can do. Thanks again.